how much of a transition was it then from being, obviously in Demolition, you and Axe would have lots of matches with enhancement talent who would make you look great. You kind of steamrolled through people often, and then you become a Repo Man. And as you say, your job is, to essentially be the kind of cowardly heel that runs away from people and makes them look like stars. How much was the transition was that for you because that's a very different kind of role to play, isn't it, in the ring?
Yeah, it was a really a major thing. I was an actor. It was like, Robert De Niro in, The Godfather, and then Robert De Niro in one of his comedy deals. That's kind of how I was approaching it. And all my interviews I really thought about, and I thought about what would you say as a kid when I'm doing the interview? Would you be laughing at me, or would you be cussing at me, or and that's what was fun about it. I could make people do what I wanted them to do. You know what I mean? So it was a whole different mindset than just going out and beating people up and doing that. It was fun. It was really fun.
Yeah, and you could see, I mean, the fact that we're here talking about it 30 years on, the fact that, you created such an impression on me as a youngster, and that, I'm still smiling about it 30 years on. So, you can see the fun that you had in that role. You can't fake that. You could see the joy that you were having as the Repo Man.
Now, did you hate me when you saw me, or did you like me?
No, I was all about the Repo Man. Sorry.
But I mean, when you first saw it, did you go, I can't stand that guy? What do you do? Like when you saw the vignettes, when I kicked the car window in, or when I stole the kid's bike, or
I think I'm still a fan, to be honest. I think I've always gravitated towards I think I've always been more drawn towards villains, to be honest, in wrestling and in films. You're talking about the Joker. I've always found the Joker far more interesting than Batman. So I think for me, if it had been Repo Man versus Hulk Hogan, I know who I would have been rooting for. Which is probably the only time that changed is when it was you against a British Bulldog, and then obviously there was no contest. It was Davy Boy all the way.
Right. Well, it's kind of funny because I liked the Riddler and I liked the Penguin, and always the bad guys. I always liked them more than anybody, and I think that's kind of why I got in that role so easy, and that's why it was so fun.